on Twitch. There we go. Update.
It's an understandable mistake. Or I understand why you made it.
All right, you want me to start reading? All right, I'll share my screen. You want to be on the goods now? Oh. What? Oh, okay. I guess Avermedia is doing something funny. All right, Avermedia. Turn that off, please. That's interesting. Avermedia reset and the HDCP is enabled, so just say it does not like. Oh, because it needs an update. So it's hosting my. That's
unfortunate.
That's like it's like straight up hosting my stream until I update it. What is this? What is this garbage? Well, let me show you the new edition, Houston. I'll send it to you on my phone. The new edition to the. Let me go here.
No, not that.
Yeah, I'll just take a screenshot of what we just posted. It's not wanting to work with me.
Because nothing seems to be trying to. Everything's against you today.
It's all fighting.
Ooh, fancy.
How dare you try to take over? All right. And then we are clear for takeoff. Well, you know, whenever we have a problem, we say, Houston, we got a problem. On my Atlanta, like, literally, I have to go through the full reinstall process.
Is your stream happening right now?
Oh, yeah. And all they literally see is copy protected content. Yeah. I mean, they're of course not seeing this because this is on the streaming laptop. The streaming laptop.
No, it says copy protected laptop. Content on there.
This laptop is now. So now I have to. All right. Once. There we go.
What is it? Why is it saying that? Is it because it needs to be updated?
I just have to disable somehow HDCP got enabled, and so now I have to like update the software and then disable it.
So it's taking your everything.
There we go. Settings.
Since I can see what you're doing in Discord.
Yeah, but that's.
Can you click change account real quick? In Steam.
There we go. fix?
Oh.
Were you asking me to do something?
Yeah, if you hide your screen for a sec.
Okay, I'll hide my screen for a second. What's up?
You go to Steam. And go to top left, change account.
I'm not logging into yours because my saves will be connected to yours.
I mean, you could also go into offline mode on there too.
It will still detect. Even in the offline mode, it still detects.
No, you're in offline mode, so he's still playing.
No, actually, so my other computer is already in offline mode to use the VTube and the the VTube software.
So you can't be offline mode on there too.
Yeah.
Game.
Steam screams for a lot of things, and they'll definitely scream at me for that.
I mean, otherwise, we could you could parsec onto my computer and we could play something co-op that way. But
yeah,
I have a feeling no.
I'll just play Loop Hero. It's on my list. I don't like. If I'm being honest, like I don't think. We'll see. Let's see if Broheim sticks to Portal. But my best guess is maybe 20 minutes of Portal and you're going to be done. You don't think so? You think you'll stick to the full allocation for Portal? We'll see. You're like, where's the cake?
I want to eat the cake.
All right, you ready? All right. Let me bring down the pretzels. Okay. All right. Romans chapter 13, 8 through 14. Love, the law in the coming day. Don't owe anything to anyone except a debt of mutual love. If you love your neighbor, you see you have fulfilled the law. Commandments like don't commit adultery, don't kill, don't steal, don't covet, and any other commandment are summed up in this: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to its neighbor. So love is the fulfillment of the law. This is all the more important because you know what time it is. The hour has come for you to wake up from sleep. Our salvation, you see, is nearer now than it was when first we came to faith. The night is nearly over. The day is almost here. So let's put off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. Let's behave appropriately as in the daytime, not in wild parties and drunkenness and shameless immorality, not in bad temper and jealousy. Instead, put on the Lord Jesus, the Messiah, and don't make any allowance for the flesh and its lust. All right, what part's this? When I was at boarding school, I often used to wake up early on summer mornings as the daylight came streaming in from 4 or 5 o'clock onward. I often used to think how silly it was not to get up then. Frequently, the day will be bright and sunny until about the middle of the morning, when clouds would roll in and spoil it. Often it would rain later on, despite the bright early sunshine. And as a keen sportsman, I used to get cross at having games spoiled by rain when I knew that if we'd been out playing before breakfast, we might have had several hours in the sunshine. We could always have done our schoolwork once the rain set in. Why wouldn't my friends wake up so that we could go out and start the match? This sense that it's important to be waking up and getting ahead of the day is what Paul is picking up in this passage. Rather, as he does in 1 Thessalonians, he is expanding what he said quite densely in chapter 12. The old world, the present age, is rumbling on. Most people are ordering their lives in accordance with its style and habits, but the new world has already broken in. God's new age has begun and will shortly come to fulfillment. Those who follow Jesus, whose life, death, and resurrection inaugurated that new age, are commanded to live already according to the rules of the new world. The day has begun, even though most people are still asleep. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a good. We'll have to sum up what we read, but go ahead and get the candy. You got it? Oh, yeah. So the bowl of Mexican candy is on the shelf. Not the shelf behind you, on the shelf where usually the diapers are on. You know, Justin, something doesn't feel pretty official what you do until you get a illuminated light of it, illuminated light sign of it. You know what I mean?
On what?
You want the
Oh, your sign.
Yeah, like the streaming life, like it's just one of those moments where it just makes it feel like official when I'm doing. You ready?
Are you ready?
I'm ready. All right.
Tango.
So, right now, like after Jesus' death and resurrection, what did that inaugurated? Inaugurated the kingdom of life, right? Right,
yeah.
because there's the kingdom of
Death and sin.
right, sin and death, and so we're supposed to live as if the full kingdom is already fully in play.
Yeah.
So we don't just wait. You know what? It makes it very interesting when, you know, you hear it from people and you hear it in movies like, all right, after I have this one more thing, then I will live a good life. I will give up X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Actually, that thing that you say, let me have this once before fully, like, you're called to give that up too. And so we got to live as if the new kingdom is already fully happening, the new kingdom of life. Paul's instructions for what this daytime behavior will mean are quite specific and very bracing. Nighttime is when people go to wild parties and do all kinds of things they'll be ashamed of in broad daylight. Very well, that kind of behavior must go, however fashionable it may be. Nighttime is when people feel free to indulge in shameless immorality that must be ruled out as well. By this point in verse 13, Paul is heading for a list of types of bad behavior rather than a list of nocturnal activities. He contents himself with one more double prohibition, which has nothing to do with the ordinary contrast of light and day. Bad temper and jealousy, alas, can be just as common during the day as the night. Perhaps more so. The analogy, but not the point, has broken down. For the Christian, anger and bitterness are just as much forbidden as drunkenness and off-limits activity, though you wouldn't think so from many you wouldn't think so from many churches. But he doesn't just tell people what to avoid. He shows them how to avoid it. Put on the Lord Jesus, the Messiah. So how do you avoid bad temper? You gotta put on. What do you think that means? Put on the Lord Jesus, the Messiah. Oh, it's like, like a piece of cloth you put on your jacket. So then imagine in your brain you're putting on Jesus. Like you're putting him on like a coat. Isn't that a funny picture? Like you just have Jesus like as a coat.
Yeah.
You have a little skin Jesus coat. Put on the Lord Jesus, the Messiah, he says. What does that mean? How can we do it? Putting on comes from the night and day contrast once more. Here we are, getting up while the rest of the world still think it's nighttime. We must put our clothes on. The Christian's clothing, which 2 verses early he has referred to as armor, the armor of light. The clothing we need when the light has begun to shine consists of Jesus himself, Jesus the Lord, Jesus the King. I know some Christians who in their private devotions each day make a conscious effort in prayer to clothe themselves with the very character of Jesus. Some people do this by reading slowly a story from the gospel and praying that the character of the Jesus they meet there will surround them, protect them, and be the thing that other people see when they meet them. For other people, it's a regular discipline of remembering their baptism, the time when they were plunged into the water as a sign of dying with the Messiah, and brought up out of it as a sign of rising again with him, so that, as in Romans 6, they are no longer living in the old world, but in the new. This indeed is the heart of what is sometimes called Paul's ethic. The new world is here. Those who belong to Jesus belong to it. Therefore, they must live by its standards rather than by the present ones of society. But someone will say, surely Paul thought the world is coming to an end very soon. Doesn't he say in verse 11 that salvation is about to burst upon the world? And if he was wrong about that, might he not have been wrong about the new day dawning at all? It is important to stress that Paul did not believe in that sense that the world is about to come to an end. When he says in 2 Thessalonians 2 that the Christians in Thessalonica mustn't be worried if they get a letter saying that the day of the Lord had arrived, it is clear that this day cannot have involved the end of the world. If it had, to put it more strongly, the Thessalonians would have noticed. Clearly, Paul seems to have thought of great crises that were coming, as we might put it within history, not simply to end it. What he has said about the coming new world in Romans indicates clearly enough that the new world will be the liberation of the present world, not its abolition. Those random words I get stuck on. Indicates clearly enough that the new world will be the liberation of the present world, not its abolition. Finally, it's notable that right through the next century and beyond, Christian teachers went on telling people that God's new world was dawning. It didn't matter to them that it had to happen within Paul's lifetime or shortly afterwards. And all right, we'll have to reflect on what we just said. And then after this reading, we'll do the video goms. Yep. You wanna wash your hands? All right, and I am going to request that no more going up and down until we finish the reading, okay? Okay. You want to do that now? Okay. All right, then let's get Loop Hero ready. I think when I'm stuck to GOG, I might actually, with little bro here around, I might play one of the Avernum series. Probably this is the very beginning. All right, where am I at?
I love how I can half hear the music through your microphone.
Oh, you could hear my music through the microphone?
Through the microphone, yeah.
Oh. Hmm.
Did you turn off the noise suppression in Discord again?
No. Sorry, what do you say, Char?
Is it good for a Wednesday? So it's like, oh no, it's almost everything.
Mm-hmm. No, it's on.
Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe I just gotta turn down the level just a little bit. Just turn down the gain just a little bit more. Because I did have it at 50 before, and I feel like that's when it was perfect. I was trying it at... Let's try it at 60 and see how you feel, my friend. Come on. There we go. All right.
Like your voice was fine. It just like
It was
taking the
picking
volume
up,
to
yeah.
be up.
You ready? Do you still hear the music?
Well,
So if you
I
still...
was hearing the game music, not your music.
Yeah, I'm now doing... So yeah, it must be... It was,
I couldn't hear your music in the first place half the time because it came and left.
Okay. All right. Rohim. So, some people think that when Paul talks about the new dawning, they think that Paul literally thought that the world was just going to end.
Yeah, just
No, not so much spoil it, but like Jesus was going to fully inaugurate his kingdom and it's going to be fully ended in Paul's lifetime. So 2,000 years ago. But it shows that Paul was not thinking like that. He's talking about events within time. What's up? Like, you know, you got Nero, you got all these empires, like within history, bad things are happening. So be ready.
like natural disasters.
Natural disasters, yeah, that's one too. In fact, the point Paul and the other early Christians were making is that the final day of salvation is bound to happen within a short time. The event to happen within a generation. And Mark 13 and elsewhere was the destruction of Jerusalem. See, that's an event within history. Because that changed everything, especially for the people who were Jewish and cling to Jesus. Yeah, because it's called, like, they literally scattered. When
They're
the
going for their lives, basically.
when the iron gauntlet of Roman government clamped on them because of the rebellion that was happening.
And they were like, okay, now it's time to scramble. Ah, what's this? Yeah.
Which indeed come to pass in AD 70. The point was that the day might come at any time. This was because the event which prepared the way for it, the resurrection of Jesus, had already happened. God's new world had been launched. The sun was already rising and it was time to get up. It didn't matter precisely how many hours were left before the whole world was flooded with new light. In this in-between time, where Christians are commanded to live in the present world as citizens of the future one, the time of the fulfillment of God's promises means also the time of fulfillment of God's law. This fulfillment has nothing whatever to do with people keeping the law in order to earn either God's favor or their membership within God's people or any special status. So you see, hearing that, like, we don't be good people to earn our salvation with Jesus.
Yeah, it's just already.
It simply has to do with them responding to God's mercy and love in the most appropriate way possible by loving the way of life which reflects God's own character, loving it, indeed, in a way which those who have not known God's love and saving grace cannot understand or appreciate. Here, Paul uses this idea of fulfilling the law and of doing so particularly through love as part of his appeal to the Christians in Rome to live attractive lives in the local community, surrounded as they are by the watching stars of puzzled pagans. Don't get in debt to anyone, he says, a warning Our present Western society has done its best to ignore over the last generation, except to regard yourself in debt to everyone, to love them. If you love them, you won't commit murder. If you love them, you won't steal from them. If you love them, you will be delighted that this man has plenty to live on, that this woman has that fine dress, that this couple live in that attractive house. You won't covet what they have because you will be glad for them. Covetousness, we recall, was the point at which the eye in Romans 7 recognized its own inability to keep the law. And we know if you love your neighbor, you won't commit adultery. English speakers have gotten into such trouble over the word love. It's a perfectly good word, but it has been made to do many jobs, covering both the selfless and self-giving love Paul is speaking of here, which denies its own desires in order to do the best thing for its neighbor, and the thoroughly selfish pursuit of one's own desire for another person's body irrespective of consequences. We might call this second type lust, but nobody who falls helplessly in love, as we like to put it, with someone else's spouse likes to call it lust. This person is so attractive, so exciting, so interesting, it must be love. And doesn't the Bible say that as long as you love, that's what matters? We can see how easily people argue like that with themselves, and sometimes even with their spiritual directors and counselors. But Paul would have made short work of it. The point of love, genuine Christian love, what the New Testament writers call agape, though some Greek writers use this word too in a wider sense like the English love, was that it meant copying the self-giving love of Jesus himself. This love is included in the command to put on Jesus, as in verse 14. And in that self-giving love, there is no room for immorality, particularly for cheating in marriage, your own or someone else's, however much it tries to disguise itself as love. The watching pagan world of the first century would have known what to make of that. In fact, for another century at least, it was one of the proudest boasts the early church could make to the watching world that Christians were not immoral. Would that we could make that boast today. All right, my friend, we can start. All right, time for the boop, 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 boop. I loop, and so I run into them. Some of them do wander, but it's like it's a loop.
How do you know? Do our first new game?
Yep. And then start a new game. Right there. There you go.
When?
We have not fought a rat yet. We haven't figured out if there is rats yet.
Why is there a timer right there?
It's been a while, so I have to remember what
There's
What abilities
sprint
I put
in
this-
game.
Nope, there's no sprint.
Do I have to talk? Yo! I'll break.
I mean, there's a crow everywhere we go. It hasn't attacked us yet, but we see it.
I see a butt.
Oh, come on. There we go.
No, let me get out. I want to finish this.
Okay, what do I want to destroy? 8 goblins. Goblins can be a nightmare. Destroy that. I'm pretty low HP. I don't want to add anything right now. Yeah, let's destroy all the goblin camps.
No, I'll grab it.
Any more goblin camps? Alright. Think you're a goblin camp? Yep. Get rid of you.
Ah!
Alright, good health. Good health. Alright.
So far, so good. Right? Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's depending on how you build things. I don't know. Nice.
You say it's safe, my guy. I don't know if portals are safe. Are they? Are portals safe? I think so. No, auto clickers be like. Good. Auto clickers be like.
Pop, 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 pop.
Get the portals and the portals. I have my own portals now. I can portal out here if I want to. Oh, wait, no, I can't. What is this supposed to be? What is this baloney? Oh, what? Let me spray my portals
Might be
in
my
you, bro.
character's death. Yeah. Alright. Where's my guy? Right there.
Oh. Okay,
There you
that's
go.
creepy.
That's game. Yep.
Can I hold this? Can I hold this? Oh, thank you.
Retreat. Oh, let's see. Can I build anything?
Ah!
Very close
Okay,
building a
wow, I
smelter.
actually placed a- Portal fancy X, yay! Now I get the fancy portal. All that fancy stuff. Fancy. No. Yo, Chris, this looks so cool, look.
Supply.
Yeah?
Yep. But I need to save those for. Actually, I might as well. What do I need more of? Okay. Yeah, I can hold more food, it looks like. I'll grab another food. try it. Ranger time.
Wait, I see cake.
I mean, rogue time. When I say rogue time, it makes me think of Roadhog.
Hey, do you want to see a life hack?
Do that, get more health per day.
I just did it, Curry.
Nice.
You want to see the epicest life hack? So, let me place it down here. See that? Instead of going... Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Make it fall through the portal. Isn't that the server powered?
That's pretty powerful.
Just think of that life hack next time.
Okay.
Yo!
Chest.
So then you don't have to pick it up.
Ruins
It's
are
so
nice.
overpowered.
I don't need a grove. Do a treasury.
Sometimes it is useful to not just go for all 12 if you don't need to.
Well, you're pretty low right now. You put... So I need to put the game down.
I like Portal. I like making Portal.
Guess, oh, here it is. What is this? Effects volume. I see. Alright, and then I'll put that up. You're saying, Justin?
Sometimes it's best not to just have it always going as much as you can.
Yeah, this is... I need to learn... I need to learn the pace, really.
Like I have that sort of issue with
I'm
like when I tried to play Slay the Spires.
Try playing what? Sorry, Charlie's talking. 1 second, Justin's saying something.
A couple times I played the Slay the
What?
Spire that like I have issues with trying to control how much I have.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying, Char?
I'm actually whizzing through these pretty fast.
Nice. Alright, you're saying love? Okay. Love you.
Okay, whoa. That's trippy.
Okay.
No.
So things I want.
Yo, that's...
Okay.
Let me get out! What do we do here? Up there. Up there.
I don't need that.
Yo!
Mistakes made. Yep.
I think I'm actually pretty good. Maybe it's just a level.
Well, I'm happy you're feeling that way. Again, like I said, if you need,
I mean, I got watched you play, so I
That-
think that's...
that also helps a lot because you watch me like suffer as I try to figure out what to do.
Suffer.
Suffering, suffercash.
I'm already at level 8. Yeah.
Okay, there is that. Get that chest.
So close. Yo, can I like work?
You've
I
done it.
have done it.
Good job, my friend.
If I can't photo right here, how dare you? If photo guns really is. Why a lot?
Imagine the limits.
Oh, you can have to.
Oh, with the rope.
Break through them.
Okay, you say it's impossible. I can do it. I will bring the cube with me. Come. Okay, now this is trippy. Alright, I did it. Can I slow? Can I slow it? Turns out I can't slow it. Yeah! Hey, Curie.
Hmm.
I found dishes. Wanna see how I done this?
Hmm.
Ready?
Yeah.
No, gimme. Gimme. Okay, we gained something.
Oh, the rat wolf's a good call.
Okay, you say it's impossible. I found strategy. No, flip.
Power of the distraction.
And it hits like a freight
Get
train
here.
at this stage.
Hey, Curie. I did it.
All right, take care of those. You
Curie.
just have to
I
hate.
feel kind of dumb right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I don't. I don't feel dumb. Fun. There we go. Yeah. Whatever you call that, laboratories, I'm in a laboratory.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about it there yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
but someday I do hope we can like get into the last bit. You can get to the like true end on Isaac eventually.
That'd be cool.
But you have enough of roguelites to get through, like Hero.
Huh.
And that one at least
Yay,
is
Curie, you want to see what I just did?
marginally work friendly.
Hey, Curie, you want to see what I just
It's
did?
almost is. He's almost at the age where I feel comfortable with binding.
Hey, Curie, you
What's
want
up?
to see what I just did?
Oh yeah.
Wait, actually. Yeah, woohoo!
No, I just
Good job.
meant like
Yeah.
unlike Isaac, there isn't a lot of
Oh, there's more!
imagery
There's
in it.
more!
Mm-hmm.
How do I do this one? Oh, there's here. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, but there's things like
Oh, wow.
actives. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The eye bleach ones. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The ones that make your eyes bleed. Seeing.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Let the eye bleach begin.
Did it.
Having this rat wolf is such a good
Whenever
call.
I do it, I just scream.
Yeah.
Look at it, look.
A
So
lot
cool,
of
look.
damage.
I missed it.
Mm.
You should be big. That's just the elevator. Don't
All right,
worry.
get rid. Do I have any more?
It's the elevator. The
You're a
broken
bandit.
elevator, okay?
Oh, what are you? Oh, battlefield. Just get rid of the bandit camp.
I think I... Get!
Oh yeah, I've died a gift few many times in that game.
I use Jesus now. Okay, wow, you call it safe? Ah! Karen, I didn't know you just had to click to respawn, and I waited like 10 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah! Oh, I died 3 times.
mm.
Wow. Okay, yep. How do you equip the mace?
I have a level 5 mace right there. I have the mace equipped anyways.
Oh, sorry me. Now. How does this work? How does this work?
Forgot it has to be adjacent to it.
How does this work? How does this work? Don't know how.
Stupid goblins.
Think I may not have it. Now. Ugh. Okay.
Which one?
This one.
Okay. So, do you see it shooting?
Yeah.
Okay, so where you place it, the blue portal.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look. I'm looking. So you want the blue portal where you want it to go. See, you already just put the orange portal. So if you look, so hit that button. So what happens there? So you want to. So you're gonna wait so you can go in there.
Oh, until it's all here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah. I did it. Now what do I do? Inside.
All right.
Acid. Is this like acid? The water.
Yeah, it's instant death.
Wow. I don't want to die from acid. In real life. Ah! Blue portal be like. Oh. Yeah! I did it. Ready to go. I just slammed my head on the wall. I'm like blind, like ooh. I grabbed, ooh. Ow.
No, they increased my overall max health.
My outfit. Wait, I need my boxy. Don't get my box.
Let's try it.
No! Kidding me.
What's up?
Give me a hint. Hide
Okay,
me.
I need to look around. I need to see what you're seeing. Alright, Sarah. Okay. So you need to get that light to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look up. Not look directly up. Let me. I can't. You keep moving around. I can't. In my.
I got that one.
Oh, that's funny. There's a croc there. I wonder what happens if you get it. Okay, so you need to get a second cube, obviously.
And it's in there.
It's in there, so you gotta go in the. Gotta go in that room. There you go.
It's in the door closed.
But then just hop through the portal. Like you just right click on the floor, right click your you left clicked. That's your mistake. You're supposed to right click. So to go back. Put it there. Get into the other room. Put one of your portals in the other room.
Okay, I made it. Stop. Okay, thank you. Oh, that works, I guess.
Where's my rat wolf?
What is
What did you do with my rat wolf? Here it is. Oh.
What?
Oh. 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 Alright, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to defeat whatever boss is in there. I don't know what I need to do to prepare myself to win, so most likely we'll lose, but this is the farthest I've ever been.
Well, good luck.
Thanks, man.
Just don't run out of health pots on your way there.
Nice part is that spirituals are no joke.
Speaking of running out of health pots,
Luckily, I get health walking through the fields, glorious fields. Yeah, it's literally right after, which is a nice boost, because it's literally right after the loop. Add another health space. Add another health space. Okay, vampire loops don't matter anymore because this is the last run. Be really interesting what happens if I oblivion it. But I'll test that out next time. Got a lot. Mistakes made.
Yeah, there's a good reason why those are a bad thing to have it next to each other.
Yeah. They're like super boosting each other.
I had issues even seeing where your character was there for a bit.
With all the
because of all the
snakes.
snakes. There is an option to highlight your character once it gets too full, though.
Hmm.
I feel kind of dumb.
What's that?
This is not orange.
Gotta leave the
Blue,
red
and
though.
that's just pop up.
Oh. All right. What I can do? Oh, they have. Okay. Oh, this is rough. Yep, I'm not gonna make it. I shot myself in the foot. So many foot shot that time. But I should have gotten a lot of resources because.
But you lost 30%. You lost 60%.
Yeah,
of them
but
because you
one
didn't
of my
escape instead
loot,
of dying.
one of my levels was every time I go to camp, I leave 10%.
Yeah, that one's pretty nice, but it still has a cap, I think.
Curry?
I think that's what it sounded like.
Curry, I'm happy.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a ledge.
Oh, nice. Yaha! What a nice smelting barrel. Throw in some more coal, scrap metal away. Hey, lad, you know the secret of sturdy armor? It's the sturdy body beneath it. Arr! I can't make everything sturdier. Even a simple shirt or some socks, whatever takes your fancy. You try to fly under the sails, no storm will stop you. And you know why? Because the storm will be on your side, laddie. Arr! I like how they gave that guy his voice. Arr! Oh, see? Oh, beautiful. Okay, where do you go? You go
Furniture.
here.
You need more furniture slots.
I just need furniture slots.
You need to get one of those.
Curry, can you help me with this one?
You need help?
The cute right here.
Okay, turn slowly to the left so I get my bearings where you're at. Okay, you're just going to have to yeet yourself. So no, you're good. So put it there, and then put your blue portal right there. And then when you're falling down, make sure to right click on the floor where you're falling. Oh, you're good, right there. Oh, had to land back into the portal. Oh. Okay, so now just make sure to right click on the floor when you're falling. Oh, my left click. I always set my right click there and my left click on the floor. So do it like right there. So you're just looping and you gain more protectant. There we go. Oh, there you go. You're almost there.
I think I need them.
Okay. Now you have the general sense. What is this? I see.
So you need to go to build and then get a building that provides a.
Yeah. Maybe a warehouse.
I know I have them available, but I don't believe I have a warehouse.
I did it.
So maybe it's further down.
I did it.
I already have a
Because
garden.
there was something about it. Farms.
Does it simply I need to level up
Maybe
something?
it was.
Do I need to level up something I already have?
Oh yeah, that might actually do it. Mud hut.
Oh,
Food or furniture.
well, I can upgrade this.
That's the healer's hut.
Yeah, I might. Let me see.
To the right of that one.
Yeah, I can't. So, more
What do you
heals.
need for it though?
Okay, well,
Metal, so just more rogue
let's
builds, I
stop
guess.
that. Why don't you instinct kill me?
No!
Potions! Potions!
Okay.
I wish they had a list to make it like easier to upgrade. All right, let's go to Nick.
To get the middle parts, you usually mostly get it as a rogue, by the way, because you get the metal scraps when you discard an item. Like
I see,
when
and
it's
you get a lot
overfilled.
of, yeah. A place of worship for the ancient god lightning. His name is Long Front. Strikes 2 random targets in its range of
I've
lightning.
not seen that
Lightning
before.
cannot affect a multiple temples, cannot be stacked. Interesting.
Interesting indeed. I have not seen the Storm Temple before.
To check it out. Oh. Nothing of those.
Why is there yellow and blue?
Actually, I should do this over here and put more rocks around it.
Wonder how
All right. So what you have to do is, if you go back to the other one, go back where it's bouncing. So go. So yeah, you can. So yeah, so you shoot it and then you walk in and you have to immediately apply the new portal. So turn around. Oh. So again, you have to send it. So click there and then look behind you. Look behind you. Look behind you. Look behind. Car. Look. Okay. Then look here. Then you have to hit right click. You have to make sure that the ball is going that way.
Oh.
And then once it goes through, there you go. And then you immediately tap and go left. If I remember, that's how you do it. It's been a while. To be close. All right. Or you can set it in a loop. All right. Strikes 2 random targets. Whoa. That's trippy.
So cardinal lines, one further down would be better. Like you want most as much road as possible.
Yeah.
I'd guess.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is B's best spot.
Or I just realized that you could also have it on the inner.
Oh
section
yeah,
of
I
the
could have
ring.
had it in the inner ring.
Well, maybe if you get another one,
Yeah.
then we'll have to see what happens when
Yeah, that's
when they overlap.
and immediately once it goes through. Oh.
Yeah, but
Oh.
if you mean up there, right?
Up there, up. You have to do it there, then there. You're traveling. The melee once it goes through, you walk through the wall, and then. You walked out, so it killed your portal. But if you go through, it's going back and forth. You might be able to do it. So, it's fine. It's going to keep going back and forth on that side, so you can still walk through and still put your portal. Yeah, it's still it's still going back and forth. It cancels out after a little bit, but you still have time. Okay, yeah, you have a few bounces. So go there, wait for it to go through. Okay, now do it. Now do it and stay in there. Now just wait. There you go.
So by the way, given he's playing Portal 1 right now, did you ever finish Portal 2?
I haven't. I have to wait
Ah.
until.
Okay. I didn't know how the timeline worked between you and him.
Yeah, and just right now. I mean, if he really like, I won't say no to him playing Portal. Like
Right,
I
of
would
course.
always opt to him doing that because it's Portal.
Yeah. And also requires thinking as long as he tries.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back.
All right. That means your graphics cards have more time. We have to bring down the graphics. No, you don't do it through there. So that's graphic. No, not the LSS. The LSS is better.
Manifest safe. It's like impossible. It just slows down.
Is it still lagging?
No, it's just
So first, you have the initial portal way too high. So let me think here. Let me look. All right. Go to the other room. Oh yeah. You gotta hit the portal and then walk to the other room.
It's okay.
Go back. Go back. Put it up there. Put portal A there and then go through. Put it down the hole. Like it's the portal.
Oh, might as well. And do I place it?
Yeah, we're gonna place it there.
No, I should probably make it.
Alright, well, it is at perfect timing, Jason. It is time for reading. Okay. Your turn. Pause, my friend. Save game, just in case. Can you go ahead and you save?
Yeah.
Alright.
I should leave it on.
If you want to, just turn off the TV. Turn off the TV. Turn off the
Not
screen.
TV.
Alright, you want me to get right into reading?
Jason. Look at the new feature.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Is it able to see it in the camera?
Yeah.
I mean, not right now because it's protection mode, but they will later. I also, so you will eventually, so good news, Jason, a big exciting news. We have a microphone,
Coming in for you.
Oh.
a
This microphone.
the same kind of microphone, same kind of boom arm, coming for that desk. An extension cord. So what we're gonna do is once the extension cords come in, we're gonna move actually that desk right there, and we're gonna put,
Again.
and then we're gonna put this right there.
We're gonna have to redo everything again.
No, we're
No,
just gonna
just
move.
that desk.
We're just moving that desk. Because right now this wall does not have power, and so for anything to have power on this wall, I have the extension cord.
Oh, so
So-
you're gonna put an extension cord.
So yeah, I have an extension cord coming in, so we're gonna put extension cord from that outlet to over there.
Science in the rock sign.
Hmm.
Science!
Johnson.
John Cena.
The Rock. John Cena.
Yo, Cena.
John Cena. Will I see you later?
All right, will you let me start? All right, we're starting.
Wait, I tell a lot of things.
'Kay.
I like a short one. Oh, that's short.
Yes. So is next one. Next one even short.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right. What part's this?
Commentary.
Bible!
All right. The weak and the strong. Welcome someone who is weak in faith, but not in order to have disputes on difficult points. One person believes it is all right to eat anything, while the weak person eats only vegetables. The one who eats should not despise the one who does not, and the one who does not should not condemn the one who does, because God has welcomed them. Who do you think you are to judge someone else's servants? They stand or fall before their own master, and stand they will, because the master can make them stand. One person reckons one day more important than another. Someone else regards all days as equally important. Each person must make up their own mind. The one who celebrates a day does so in honor of the Lord, just as the one who eats does so in honor of the Lord, since they give thanks to God. The one who does not eat too is abstaining in honor of the Lord, and likewise gives thanks to God. What part's this?
Time to.
We have a friend whose son is a vegetarian. She was describing to us today how she has learned to cook special meals for him and what sort of compromises with the code he has been prepared to make. In today's Western world, vegetarianism has become a serious option for millions. Restaurants now routinely offer vegetarian options. This was almost unknown when I was young. The ancient world knew about vegetarianism too, But often people took that option for quite different reasons to those we think of today. Hardly anyone in Paul's world thought it cruel to slaughter animals for food. Most people at the time lived very close to the means of food production, whether animals or crops, and though no more of killing a cow or a pig than of picking an olive off a tree. No. The reason why some people in Paul's world, certainly the ones he's talking about in this chapter, became vegetarian was because they couldn't guarantee getting the right sort of meat. Would it be pure? Granted, they were allowed to eat meat. Were they allowed to eat this meat? Had it been slaughtered in the proper manner? Had it been cooked in the right way? This is similar to the problem Paul faced in 1 Corinthians 8, but perhaps with a further twist as well. There, the question had to do with meat that had been offered to an idol, that is slaughtered as a sacrifice in the pagan temple and then either served up in the adjoining restaurant or offered for sale in the market. No devout Jew would dream of eating such meat. Many of the early Christians, too, having been regular attenders at pagan temples before their conversion, and knowing full well the kind of lifestyle that went with it all, avoided anything that reminded them of it. That was the context in which Paul insisted equally, A, that since God was the creator, all meat was good in itself and therefore could in principle be eaten, and B, that if someone else's conscience was being hurt, even those who had a robust conscience about eating the food should abstain from doing so. In the present chapter, that discussion had broadened out a bit, probably to include those Jews who would become vegetarians in practice because, in their part of the city, they could not guarantee being able to get meat that had been properly slaughtered according to the kosher laws laid down in the Bible and interpreted in Jewish tradition. Unless there was a proper Jewish butcher available, it might well have seemed a wiser course to abstain not only from pork, as Jews would anyway, though pork was the cheapest and most readily available meat in that world, but from all meat of whatever kind. What is fascinating about this whole chapter is that, though it seems clear that the issues Paul is talking about are things that would have divided Jewish Christians from Gentile Christians, he does not say many Jewish Christians don't eat meat and many Gentile Christians do. For a start, there were plenty of Jewish Christians, himself included, who were what he called strong. That is, who had worked it out and settled in their mind that all food were now clean. There were probably some Gentile Christians too, like the ones in Galatia, who, in their eagerness to avoid the ugly memories of their pagan background, had embraced not only the Christian ethic, but the strict Jewish rules as well. But there is a deeper reason, I think, why Paul simply says, some of us do it this way, some of us do it that way. His reason, I think, is that he is precisely trying to break down the walls which the early Christians so easily put up between people of different ethnic origin. If he said, Jewish Christians do this, Gentiles Christians do that, he would simply have been reinforcing the barrier he was trying to get them to forget. It's only in chapter 15 that the underlying agenda becomes clear, and then at the point where he is appealing to them to worship together. For the moment, he is trying to educate them to look at one another, not as, oh, he's Jewish, or, oh, she's Gentile, but as fellow servants of the same master, fellow disciples of the same Lord. In fact, the word for master and Lord in these verses is the same. So even when Paul is using the metaphor of servants and their master in verse 4, he is already hinting at that at the point he makes in verse 6, and will continue to make it again and again through the passage. What we are dealing with in this passage is in fact the direct consequence of Paul's doctrine of justification by faith, which he has, of course, expounded at length earlier in the letter. Jews and Gentiles who believe in Jesus are welcomed equally because of Jesus' own achievement in his death and resurrection. They are marked out solely by their belief that he is Lord and that God raised him from the dead, a passage which Paul seems to be echoing at various points in the chapter. They must therefore learn to live together without looking down their noses at one another or implying for a moment that God is more pleased with one style behavior than with another. Paul does not seem to be suggesting here that there was in Rome a problem of the same magnitude as the one he had faced in Antioch, but that might be only because the different Christian groups in Rome were scattered, not even attempting to come together for meals or worship, whereas at least in Antioch they had been doing so. Nor was it only food that was causing the potential problem. It was the keeping of holy days. Pagan societies kept special feast days and holidays, of course, but Paul is probably referring to Jewish practices. Some Christians will keep the major Jewish festivals, others will not. For Paul, it had become a point of indifference. What mattered was that whichever decision you made, you did what you did in honor of the Lord. Some would say who lounged in bed on a Sunday morning claiming that Paul said it didn't matter, would I suspect a sharp retort from the apostle. So what is the situation in Rome? And what does Paul expect them to do? By starting off with an instruction to welcome the weak in faith. He seems to be assuming that most of the Christians are strong, probably Gentile Christians, quite likely people who have been converted through his own work further east and had not traveled to Rome. Some people in that category are named in chapter 16. These people, it seems, would have agreed with Paul that a Christian could, in principle, eat anything. By weak in faith, he doesn't mean that the religious devotion of this group is thin and watery, nor does he mean to imply that they have a shaky grasp on the basic points of Christian faith, or wavering belief in them. His point, rather, is that they have not worked out, or not as fully as he and some others have done, the consequences of believing in God as Creator and Jesus as the crucified and risen Lord. For Paul, believing this meant that all foods were now clean, as in Mark point that Jesus had implied, and that, though keeping holy days might help devotion, a Christian was free to observe special days or not, provided this was done with desire to honor the Lord. Paul continues to develop this argument in the passages which follow, but for now it may be worth taking a minute to ponder possible parallels in our own day. At what points in today's church are we in danger of judging one another because of things that Paul would declare to be indifferent? Were we prone to build walls of division on cultural or ethnic lines where Paul would gently but firmly insist that we are all serving the same master? All right, we can start, friends. Dun 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 dun.
Oh, Charlie, I know how to do that. Okay, so what you're gonna
I
do?
don't think you
I play. You jump through there.
I know
And then-
I know
All right,
how.
all right, just give him space.
I know how to do it though.
Wait, give him space. When he asks, he asks. Oh, almost.
Did you win against the boss score?
I didn't even get to the boss because of my worm infestation.
Yeah. No, I meant like with your necromancer thing.
Oh, I'm still doing the necro run.
Ah. Well, I'm gonna be muted for a bit while you eat.
All right,
dinner.
sounds good. figure out how to bounce, how to do the proper portal bounce to that slot.
I just gonna win. I win. Yep.
Oh yeah, and I think now the sound on Windows broke on my laptop. I switched ports. I use my laptop. I capture my main computer through a capture card to a laptop, and that's what I stream out of.
Nope.
What's up? Did my game went a million again?
No, but the sound of your stream is split.
Yeah, I bet. Yep. I can't even open up the sound setting. Oh, there we go. Yeah, right now it's picking up my webcam.